on 60 Minutes.
I clicked on one and it was a deep fake of me, really aggressive pornography.
Targeting women everywhere.
Pictures of me naked, sex tapes.
The worst AI-generated deepfake abuse.
The violence is digital, but the pain is real.
No one is safe.
Is clearly outpacing law enforcement.
Absolutely.
Not even the mother of one of Elon Musk's children.
The companies are selling the perpetrators the weapons. Turn it off.
That's next on 60 Minutes.
What you're about to watch is likely to be the most stupid thing artificial intelligence can do. It's also one of the most frightening and certainly the most obscene. With the press of a button on a keyboard, any photograph of a person, any innocent happy snap, can instantly be turned into pornography. For women especially, AI's deepfake technology is driving a new wave of violence all over the world. And make no mistake, this is a form of abuse. It's not harmless computer fun. Tonight, brave victims have a message for anyone who uses or condones it. How dare you? Did you ever come to a cinema and watch yourself?
I did, yes.
Unusually, for someone who's used to being in front of the camera, Kate Bell is still somewhat shy.
What was that like? It's really weird. It's so surreal and I think incredibly self-conscious.
The Australian movie and soapy star turned her back on fame 10 years ago. But making films will always be fond memories for Kate.
So this is In Her Skin, which is a local Australian story.
She was comfortable exposing herself in scenes like this, nude and risque. But it was always on Kate's terms and in context with the storyline. When you're filming a scene, a raunchy scene like that, what's happening around you?
It's on a closed set. Everyone else leaves and you take the robes off, you shoot the scene, the robes come straight back on, you discuss and maybe you do it again, maybe you don't.
So you give full consent for every part of that process?
You agree and you acknowledge that the things you're doing, you're comfortable with. You've given consent.
So when Kate unwittingly stumbled across AI-generated pornographic pictures along with sex videos of herself, where there was definitely no consent to the filming, she was suddenly starring in her own real-life nightmare.
They are not images I would ever want anyone to see. I feel very violated.
Kate alleges she's a victim of some of the most heinous digital abuse. The subject of fake pornographic images, most too confronting to show, all created without her knowledge. So what did you find of yourself?
Really aggressive pornography. Images where I had been superimposed to be completely nude. You know, there was a penis in my face, one up the front, one up the back, and my arms were being pulled.
It's a level of depravity German celebrity Colleen Fernandez has also endured. For years, she was tormented by pornographic images of her produced using artificial intelligence.
Ich schau mal, ob du da auch zu finden bist.
The actress couldn't work out who or why anybody would be so cruel.
There was this one picture which I saw in which I'm covered in sperm. Yeah, I'm wearing a nurse costume. And there was also this story in which I get raped by 21 men. And I think that also puts me in a dangerous situation, because if this is sent out in my name, then maybe I meet a man in real life and he thinks it's okay to rape me somewhere because I'm aroused by a rape story.
I know you know that none of it was real and none of it was produced by you, but was there still a little bit of shame that came with the fact that all of that disgusting material was out in the world for people to see?
Well, it was not in my hands, and that's the problem. And the few pictures I saw and the few videos I saw, they looked so realistic. And that's the problem, because it looks so real.
Kate and Colleen's stories of abuse are hard to believe, but sadly, no longer unusual. In the race for AI dominance, women's safety is under threat like never before. The technology is now so advanced, within seconds, you can turn a simple happy snap into porn with the click of a button.
This technology in the wrong hands is incredibly dangerous.
So our cyber intelligence team is over.
Former police officer turned cybersecurity expert, Leah Pinto, has made it her mission to stamp out digital abuse.
So this is just another form of violence against women. It's just digital. There is no bruises to show it. There is no financial impact, but the psychological, reputational harm and impact to these women is really significant.
How have you seen the threat of digital abuse change?
We are seeing cyber criminals and offenders perpetrating this often, and it's getting more and more difficult to be able to tell what is real and what's not with this technology.
It's horrifying, disgusting, and very embarrassing. But Kate Bell says she can't stay silent. We're going to talk about something today that is so personal and so degrading. How hard is this for you?
It's pretty terrifying, to be perfectly honest. It's never something I thought I'd be doing or living through. It's nothing like I've experienced before. This is the quickest way to dehumanize a woman. You don't need to slander her or whisper rumors anymore. You can literally create a deep fake of her doing something vulgar, and that's it, done.
Kate's great concern is that there are dozens of pornographic photos and sex videos of herself posted somewhere on the dark web. It was in July last year when she first realised her innocent photos had been manipulated into sexually explicit content.
And I clicked on one, and it was a deep fake of me, and digitally removed my clothing and put just the most enormous penis squirting all over my face. And it was like comically exaggerated. And I thought, well, that's clearly never happened.
Are you shocked? Do you laugh? Like, what happens?
My blood went cold. Ice. I felt like I had ice running through my veins. I was going into shock. And I clicked through, and as I clicked through, the shock became worse and worse.
The thought of such vile sexual content being out there for the world to see was just as frightening for German celebrity Colleen Fernandez. If you had to describe what it's done to your self-esteem, your confidence, where it hits the hardest.
It has been tough in so many ways. I had panic attacks. I had to take some antidepressants because of it. I had to go to therapy. I'm still in the therapy, so the violence is digital, but the pain is real.
And that pain only escalated when men Colleen worked with in the film industry started looking at her differently, and some even confronted her. Bizarrely, they'd been fooled into believing they were in a secret sexual relationship with the actress, because the person making the deep fakes was also impersonating the TV star online.
I had a meeting with a producer, and he was talking about our conversation, and I was like, sorry, I really don't know what you're talking about. And then he showed me some pictures and was like, yeah, well, you sent this. And I'm like, no, I haven't sent you this.
So you would go to work potentially with some men who would believe that they had phone sex with you the night before.
Yeah, and afterwards, some more men contacted me talking about our conversation, and then I realized, okay, that was not a thing that happened once. There is a person doing this all the time.
The online abuse and deception became all too much. Colleen was now living in a parallel universe, unable to make sense of fact or fiction. Determined to hunt down her predator, Colleen made a documentary about deep fakes and digital abuse, crisscrossing the globe to catch the creep. Little did she know, though, he was hiding in plain sight.
I thought it's a scammer somewhere in I don't know where, but I never ever thought that I know the perpetrator.
But both Colleen Fernandez and Kate Bell thought wrong. Coming up, the ultimate betrayal. What happens when these brave women come face to face with the men behind the abuse? Kate, how do you describe that moment?
I died. I absolutely died that day.
Sharing these pictures of herself is a big ask for Kate Bell. They're the cleanest in a crude collection of AI-altered images she wishes never existed.
The breasts are clearly not mine.
That photo over there, did you have a top on?
Yeah, I'm not in the habit of lying around half naked.
Kate says she's the victim of unfathomable sexual digital abuse. This is so degrading.
That's not degrading compared to the other stuff. That's fine. That's like, oh, you only gave me enormous boobs. The other stuff is what's degrading.
Sadly, Kate's awful reality is being echoed around the world. In Germany, Colleen Fernandez also went public with her own story of abuse. In her case, though, the most explicit deepfake images of her were not only made, they were also shared online.
Pictures of me first in underwear, then naked, and then he was sending out sex tapes, and he got aroused by me being that person who is sending out nude pictures and fake porn.
Neither Colleen Fernandez nor Kate Bell ever imagined they would know their abusers, let alone find out it was the one person that should have protected them. Kate, who did this to you?
This was done to me by my ex-partner.
You trusted him?
Yeah. Yes, I did. I did. And if I'd known, I wouldn't have gone anywhere near him.
Colleen's story is eerily similar, except hers went even further. It was Christmas Day 2024 when she says her husband, Christian Ullman, came clean that he was the creep behind the keyboard. It's the ultimate betrayal, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. But this is a betrayal on so many levels because he used my name, he used images of me and fake porn and saying it was me. I was like, I can't go on with that relationship. How could I lie next to him ever again?
Colleen says Ullman, a famous comedian, not only confessed to creating fake social media accounts in her name, he also admitted that for years he shared porn and had secret online relationships with dozens of men, where he pretended to be her.
Yeah, that was his fetish, and he said he was kind of addicted and he couldn't stop it. And yeah, that's what he did all the time. And that feels so weird because we're a family, and that's the place where you should be protected.
How many men do you believe your husband was in contact with?
Yeah, it's around 30 men who went into these online deep relationship with me.
For Kate Bell, the shock came over her in a matter of clicks. She innocently asked to borrow her former partner's laptop for a university assignment. What she uncovered was truly sinister. How disgusting did it get?
I think at the worst of the worst would have been the stills taken of me when we were having sex and he had filmed it without me knowing, and then turned that film into a series of images. And then in those images, he's given me all different kinds of boobs, like a catalogue, you know? Teardrop boobs, big boobs, sideways boobs, pointy boobs. And it was just click, 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 click.
How do you describe that moment?
That was a death of sorts. I died. I absolutely died that day. And I felt extremely afraid that I was sharing a house under surveillance with someone whose personality was just abhorrent.
In a creepy twist, Kate claims she is not her former partner's only victim. Her disgust turned to devastation when she found sex videos of 2 other women. And if that wasn't shocking enough, Kate says she then uncovered folders containing images of other women they knew. Did you recognise the names on the folders?
Yes, I did. Some of these people are in our work world, in our friendship groups.
So these women that you find have no idea that they're sitting in someone's computer, essentially in a porno.
Correct. Yes. No idea.
That is horrifying.
Yes.
Do you know what happened or where those pictures were posted or videos were posted?
No. I do know there was a note with a lot of pornography websites and URLs. I could assume that potentially these were shared, but I can't say for certain they were because I did not spend any time looking for myself on the dark web.
There is no evidence her former partner has shared the content online, but that doesn't provide any comfort for Kate.
Not only am I trying to work out what's real, what's been doctored, it's, I just thought, oh my God, I'm living with a predator.
But as you'll see in the frightening new world of AI, nobody is safe. Not even Ashley St. Clair. Coming up, the mother of one of Elon Musk's children tells how she became a victim of his own technology. Who do you think was making this material?
Grok,
And who were the people behind the keyboard?
The engineers.
It's taboo to ask Ashley St. Clair about her relationship with the world's richest man. But she will happily unleash when it comes to her battle against Elon Musk. As the mother of one of his children, it's a personal but also very public fight for Ashley. She's suing Musk's billion-dollar company, XAI, because she claims users of its chatbot, Grok, produced countless pornographic images of her, which were spread across his social media platform. So who do you think should be punished, the perpetrators or the companies that build these platforms?
The companies should hold the most liability. The perpetrator should also hold criminal liability, but the companies are selling the perpetrators the weapons.
Ashley is just one of millions around the world who were violated when Grok introduced a new photo editing tool known as Spicy Mode late last year. It gave users free rein to generate explicit content, and they did.
I can't stress to you enough how hyper-realistic this is. I think when people use the term deepfake, it really takes away from how realistic these images are, because not only did it look like I was actually undressed and in this graphic position, they told Grok to turn me around and bend me over, and there was only what looked like a piece of dental floss covering me. And it just became an avalanche of more images that got more and more graphic, more and more explicit, and the age I was in the photos was getting younger and younger.
Ashley says even children, some as young as 4, became caught up in the global Spicy Mode scandal.
One user prompted Grok to put her in a bluey microprint bikini, and Grok obliged. And then another user asked that Grok cover this little girl who was now undressed in white sticky donut glaze to represent semen.
Elon Musk has come out and said there are 0 naked underage images. They don't exist. When he says that, is he lying or is he just blind to the harm he built?
I think it would be technically accurate because there was a piece of dental floss covering, my anus. So while that may be technically true, it is so deceptive, intentionally deceptive and manipulative to the extremely graphic and abusive behavior unleashed by this product.
Even as backlash grew,
the actions of Grok and X are disgusting and they're shameful.
The billionaire boss not only made light of his new photo editing feature, critiquing himself in this string bikini, he also spruiked the product.
What was fascinating too is just a couple weeks prior to this, the owner of the platform was encouraging people to post photos of their families online, photos of their children online.
Who do you think was making this material?
Grok.
And who were the people behind the keyboard?
The engineers.
So the company itself.
These individuals didn't make it on Photoshop or they didn't draw them. They were only able to do it because Grok produced it and distributed it for them.
And that's one of the arguments Ashley will wage in her civil lawsuit against XAI. Her lawyer, Carrie Goldberg, says Musk's chatbot tool, Grok, was deliberately designed to cause harm on the social media platform.
It was a monumental moment because this was the first time that a deepfake technology was married to a social media platform.
How dangerous was that marriage?
It made it so that there was just an immediate mode of dissemination of deepfakes. It made it so that the victimization of people was at a new scalable size. So it was very dangerous.
And in dollar signs, what did that mean for Elon Musk?
A lot of money. And there were reportedly 181 million deepfakes created, which was a total of like 41% of all content that was being distributed on X was deepfakes.
Grok, as it's called, is under fire for creating sexually explicit images of women and children.
After several countries banned Grok, Musk folded under pressure and issued an apology. He says he updated the app and ramped up its safety features. But Ashley believes paid subscribers can happily carry on using his image-generating tool. What safeguards does Grok put in place to protect women online?
I'm not aware of any. In fact, I have images saying the contrary. That this is still happening. That not only are they still training Grok, and Grok still retains the ability to undress women, but they're training Grok to do it better.
What do you mean?
Right now, they are currently training Grok to undress women better. That is the job of the people working at XAI.
How do you know that?
Because I was told by an employee.
What are the employees telling you?
They're uncomfortable. They were made to sign waivers saying that they may be exposed to traumatic images, to traumatic content, content that may be explicit, content that may be traumatizing.
It's an unbelievable thought, but Ashley's legal fight is only one lawsuit against one social media platform. Cybersecurity expert Leah Pinto hopes the controversial case will set a precedent for holding the most powerful social media organisations to account.
It's really important that the big tech companies have a seat at the table in addressing this problem. We need to work with them. Private industry, law enforcement and government really need to work together to address this problem, and they need to be taking the right steps in their policies, in their technology, in their sharing of information to mitigate this risk and try to stop it.
And as Leah and her team are about to demonstrate, the AI tools are simple and frighteningly quick to use.
So we have Jenna over here, who is our deepfake intelligence analyst expert, and played with and altered some of those imagery to show you how easy this is.
I'm slightly terrified about this.
We have, again, changed your outfit in this image.
You don't even need that many words to create an output like
And that's all you did? So one prompt, and it did that?
Yep.
Extraordinary.
Now, my question is, do you know that man?
No, I do not know that man.
We have then changed your appearance and your body shape. What do you think of that?
This is pretty tame stuff, right? Because it's got to be palatable for television, but you can imagine just how out of hand this
Absolutely.
can get.
But if the intention is to harass, intimidate, steal someone's identity, it can absolutely go further.
Awful. It's that unacceptable level of risk Carrie Goldberg says gets to the heart of the problem when it comes to those running the world of big tech. How do you convince someone like Elon Musk to put safety ahead of power and money?
He's untouchable, so he can just have fun with other people's privacy and humiliation. And that's the arrogance that a company, that's worth over $1 trillion has. They'll unleash a product and worry about the consequences later.
Ashley St. Clair is determined to get her day in court. But it will be one hell of a fight as XAI is countersuing her.
They want to shut her up. They want to intimidate her. What I know is that clearly the company, the lawyers, and Elon Musk himself, who I believe is directing all of this, that they have no idea who they're dealing with.
Do you feel like if you weren't Ashley St. Clair, you wouldn't have been targeted in this way?
Oh, 100%. And I definitely wouldn't have been countersued because I am the only private individual being sued by XAI, now SpaceXAI, for a terms of service violation. So it absolutely seems retaliatory and unprecedented, but that's okay.
It seems so petty.
It's further abuse. That's what this is. I'm the one who's in trouble now. Shame on them. It's further abuse, irregardless of who the owner is.
How sad is it that it's come to this?
This is what happens when we allow people to violate boundaries, in pursuit of capital and clicks.
From the powerful to the perpetrators. Coming up, hell hath no fury like these scorned women. The moment Kate Bell and Colleen Fernandez dob their abusers in.
How dare you edit my body? I'm fine the way I am, thank you very much. Don't you dare edit my breasts. Oh, he was funny and charming.
There were many picture-perfect moments for Kate Bell and her former partner.
I loved him and I loved our life together and...
But now their entire relationship feels like a hoax.
Who was the man you fell in love with? A stranger. I don't know who this person is because this was a lie.
Last year, the former actress, now working in cybersecurity, uncovered a trove of explicit AI-generated images of herself on her former partner's laptop. She also found secretly recorded videos of the pair having sex. And even more disturbing, Kate says she found folders dedicated to female friends and acquaintances. Understandably, her first reaction was fear.
Do you call him? Yeah.
What did he say?
He was really quiet for a while. Then he said, "It was just once, it was a mistake, it will never happen again."
But Kate knew he was lying and immediately called police. She says she spent 12 hours with detectives meticulously going through what she thought was an overwhelming pile of evidence.
They advised me that they're going to arrest him for the 2 videos of myself, which we could clearly identify the time, the place, the venue. And I said to them, please look into all the other folders. That's the scary stuff.
But to Kate's despair, the police investigation would fall well short. Despite the material laid out for detectives, her former partner only faced 2 criminal charges of filming Kate without her consent. He wouldn't give officers access to his mobile phone, which meant police couldn't determine whether he'd shared the material online, an allegation Kate's former partner strongly denies.
So they just accepted when he said, "No thanks, I don't want to give you my passcode"? That's my understanding.
Did you ask whether they could crack his phone?
I did.
And what'd they say?
We can do that.
Why didn't they?
Unclear. However, I think this is where technology has outpaced policing, the legal system, and the domestic violence support system.
Despite pleading guilty to the 2 charges, Kate's former partner appealed his conviction, claiming he was mentally ill. That's why he secretly recorded them having sex. While the magistrate dismissed the appeal, the man was allowed to walk away without any criminal conviction being recorded.
What message do you think it sends to women? Your bodily autonomy does not matter. That to me says you do not see this as a real crime.
On Friday, we received a statement from Kate's former partner, which says he has always accepted responsibility for his actions, and he's been deeply remorseful for the hurt caused. It was an entirely private mistake that never went beyond him.
I feel so sorry for him. I don't know what happened to him to make him this way. And I am very angry. But I don't hate him.
In Europe, actress Colleen Fernandez has recently launched legal action against ex-husband Christian Ullman. She's accusing him of impersonating her on fake social media accounts for more than 10 years. Colleen claims Ullman spread deepfake pictures and videos, tricking more than 30 men into believing they were having an online affair with Colleen. Accusations Ullman strongly denies. What evidence do you have against him?
I do have a lot of evidence. When you have seen all of this, it's clearly what had happened.
But what about any of the men that may have been receiving any of this material? Have any of them reached out to you?
Yeah, now a man reached out to me, and I'm so thankful for every man who contacts me, because it's important for us to have it for the legal situation and for the complaints.
How many have come forward so far?
Oh, I couldn't say, because I don't want him to know how many witnesses we have.
If the reaction to Colleen's brave decision to speak out is anything to go by, there will be no shortage of women there to support her as she faces off with her ex-husband in court. You've started this massive global conversation, but it's something that's so personal to you.
When we talk about gender-specific violence, it was only physical violence. And I think the future generations have to do more with the digital violence. And that's why we need to get a better law now for our daughters and the daughters of our daughters.
It's a sentiment shared by so many around the world, including Ashley St. Clair, who's the mother of one of tech billionaire Elon Musk's children. Ashley wants everyone to remember that once an explicit deepfake photo is posted online, the damage is done.
The internet is, it is unlike us. It is not subject to any sort of biological decay. It lives forever. Once it's out there, it's there. And even if you think it's removed on the big platforms, the internet is forever.
Coming up, what police are doing to stop this new wave of violence. Do you ever get shocked with what you find?
Look, absolutely. It's extremely concerning.
For almost a decade, Detective Superintendent Matt Kraft has been catching criminals in the darkest corners of the internet.
So welcome to our digital forensics room.
Under lock and key, this is where his cybercrime detectives scour for clues on electronic devices. What sort of things are you looking for?
The artefacts on devices that may assist us to understand what's occurred, to help us build a criminal conviction or a criminal case against an offender.
Do you ever get shocked with what you find?
Look, absolutely. Some of the depravity that we see on devices, it's extremely concerning.
Matt Kraft is the first to admit the misuse of artificial intelligence is out of control, especially when it comes to abusing women online.
It's a dark day when women need to remove social media and limit what they post online because it will be abused in another format.
The cybercrime boss says there's no better example than the case of Kate Bell to show just how technology can outpace law enforcement. The former actress, who now works in cybersecurity, reported her former partner to police last year. Kate handed detectives his laptop, filled with sex videos, as well as deepfake pornography of her and other women. What do you make of these pictures?
You know, they're images that are clearly been altered. There's a sexual element to it, and the victim doesn't consent.
They're all reasons why Kate cannot accept that her former partner has never been punished for producing the deepfake images. He only faced 2 counts of filming Kate without her consent, charges he pleaded guilty to, but successfully fought to walk away with no criminal conviction recorded. How can it be that Kate Bell goes to police with a laptop full of evidence and he's only charged with two offences.
It was prior to the introduction of the specific AI-generated legislation in February 2026. So in this case here, unfortunately, at the time those images were created, it wasn't a criminal offence.
So if the same material was created today and presented to police, what would happen?
There are a range of criminal offences, serious criminal offences that carry in term of imprisonment that would apply. The legislation is very clear that if you create images using artificial intelligence, whether they're images or recording of somebody in a sexually explicit way, it is a criminal offence. It is also a criminal offence to disseminate that material.
What sort of punishment would he be facing?
So these offences are all punishable by 3 years of imprisonment. That's the maximum penalty.
So if that's the case, essentially he just gets away with it?
Well, he has been convicted of 2 particular serious offences of filming without permission. But in relation to the specific AI-related images, as distasteful as they are, it wasn't a criminal offence at that particular time.
Surely that's not good enough.
Look, I concede it's distasteful. It's a gross breach of trust in what is a relationship. And this is the reason why the legislation was implemented, to target this type of offending.
While Matt Kraft regrets not being able to reopen the case, he won't rule out the possibility more victims are out there. How much does this highlight the need for law enforcement to keep up with this technology?
It's an absolute requirement for us as law enforcement right across the country to make sure we're keeping pace, with modern offending. I think we will sit here in another 2 years' time and we'll be talking about another way that offenders are victimising, the community as a consequence of technology. There's a victim behind every single offence.
And for victims like Kate Bell, it will take time to rebuild trust. But she knows she's not alone, and she hopes sharing her story will highlight the importance of respecting women and their safety.
I've been through hell. I didn't know if I'd make it out. And I have. And I want to make sure this never happens to anyone else.
What's the biggest lesson you've learnt from all of this?
You can't really break a woman.
If you or anyone you know is a victim of domestic or sexual violence, help is available. Call 1-800-RESPECT, which is 1-800-737-732.
Hello, I'm Adam Hegarty. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minute segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.